What's good, YouTube? This is Matt, and welcome to another Timeless production. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys my top 5 quarterback prospects for the 2025 NFL Draft. First, let me start this by saying people are calling this a weak quarterback class, which, last year's was generational. This year does not stand up to last year, but typically when people say it's a weak draft, it equals gems. And that's because people are being lazy. They're being lazy in their scouting, in their evaluations, things of that sort. Not every class is last year. Not every class is 2020 with Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Jordan Love, Tua, the lot. Look at 2022. That's probably the worst quarterback class of all time. Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder. And then look at 2021. That was overhyped. T-Law has not done anything. He won one playoff game. He's not done anything else. Zach Wilson is trash. Trey Lance, all those guys. And then even 2019, Kyler Murray is the only quarterback still starting in 2019 from the 2019 draft. Could be wrong, but whatever. And I don't remember people back then saying like this is a terrible draft class. They could have been, but this is what I remember. So let's all be fair in our evaluations of this draft class because I don't mind this quarterback draft class. I think people are really downplaying it, and I think there's some intriguing prospects. Starting at number 1, this should come as no surprise. Cam Ward is by far and away my number 1 quarterback in this draft class. He's 6'2", 223, thick. And that makes him Mahomes-like to me. That's Mahomes measurables. This might be a drag to some people, but I think Cam Ward plays like Patrick Mahomes for sure. The arm angles, the crazy throws, the way he moves in the pocket, the way that he's not fast, but he can get away from tacklers and make plays with his feet. They have the same cons coming out of college as well. The hero ball, the playing out of structure, like the wild throws. That is my player comp for Cam Ward. And we see what Patrick Mahomes is doing in the NFL today. He's not having a crazy statistical year, but his team is still going to the Super Bowl. They're still going up for the three-peat. And he's top 2 greatest quarterback of all time already. And he could overpass Tom Brady. I love Cam Ward as a prospect. I think that the right team, the right coach can mold him into a game-changing quarterback, a franchise-changing quarterback, game wrecker. And I don't think anyone else in this draft has that type of potential. So that's why I have him at number 1. Number 2, obviously, Shedeur Sanders. Listen, these top 2 is like everyone else, but the next rankings is not like everyone else. Shedeur Sanders, insanely accurate, 72% completion percentage in FBS. He has a 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio in the FBS. That is absolutely insane. Other quarterbacks had like a 3-to-1, which is good. 5-to-1, it was like 64 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. Absolutely insane. And because he is a Sanders, he is built for a huge market. Perfect team for him to go to is the New York Giants. I'm not going to lie. New York market, New York media, they might hate on him, but he's built for that because he's Deion Sanders' son. I think his biggest con is that he takes really bad sacks. He's kind of skinny and smallish, but he's tough, so can't really take that away from him. I just think it's the sacks thing. It's the holding the ball for a little bit too long. Like he had the worst O-line play in college last year, but this year he still took a lot of sacks. He still held the ball a lot. So that's probably his biggest con to me. Now, number 3. It will be a surprise. I've actually been hearing this more often. I've been thinking this for months. My number 3 quarterback in this draft is Will Howard. I felt this before the run, but if you watch the run, you can see everything that I'm saying. 6'4", prototypical quarterback. What does that mean? It means he does not look like number 1 and 2. But it means he's tall. He's smart. He's a winner. He's tough. He can make big throws. He can play in the pocket and also make runs. He can lead a team. He's familiar with playing with crazy athletes like he will in the NFL. I think Will Howard is severely being slept on because up to this point, no one has had buzz around him until he won the national championship. Now I'm hearing a lot of buzz, and I think it's rightfully so. Like a lot of people wrote him off immediately. Kansas State, his own school, pushed him out for Avery Johnson. Will Howard is that quarterback that people used to fawn over, and I guess it's not cool anymore to do that. But I think he could be a serviceable quarterback in the NFL, possibly. Number 4, I've got Jackson Dart. He's another quarterback that people like were writing off, and he's been recently getting a lot of buzz. I think first round. I mean, I don't know how to feel exactly about Jackson Dart. I think he played in the SEC. He had a lot of great games. He also had a lot of games where he did absolutely nothing. I think this year there was a stat where like the bulk of his production came in like 4 or 5 games, and then in like 4 or 5 other games he did absolutely nothing. Um, this is lazy. I know it is. I haven't watched a ton of Jackson Dart film. He's tough Zach Wilson to me. They look like the same player. He looks a little bit bigger, tougher. I think he can have a similar jump to Zach Wilson's in the draft process because Zach Wilson really came out of nowhere and went all the way up in the beginning of the first round to my beloved New York Jets. Number 5 is what I really love, Curtis Rourke. He's an older prospect. He's huge. He's a statue in the pocket, but he's so accurate. He's another guy who does not throw a lot of interceptions. He's super smart, and his age is a benefit to him because he's played a lot of football. The good thing about all these guys is they've played a lot of football. It's not the young, intriguing prospect as in the last couple of years, but these guys are seasoned, and Curtis Rourke is top 1 seasoned in this draft. He played last year with a torn ACL, PCL, whatever in his leg, and led Indiana to the college football playoff. Indiana. And he didn't have a bad game against Notre Dame. I think if they run that game back, like it's even closer than what it actually was. So I think Curtis Rourke is 6'5" Kirk Cousins, just because of the fact that Kirk Cousins is a statue in the pocket. He's accurate. He's serviceable, but he's not going to get you over the top. But I mean, Curtis Rourke definitely reminds me of him for sure. Now, my honorable mention right here will be Kyle McCord out of Syracuse, former Ohio State quarterback. He's a really interesting prospect to me because he can clearly sling the ball really well. He was the FBS leader in yards. He was also the FBS leader in interceptions. So it's the good with the bad with him. I think it'll definitely be hit or miss for sure. He could have like a Brock Purdy like impact if taken to the right organization and given the right chance. But he could also be absolutely nothing. So that's why he's an honorable mention. I didn't want to put him in my top 5, but I think he's a really intriguing prospect for sure. And that's my top 5. Now you might be wondering, who am I missing? I know I'm missing some big names here. I know I'm missing Jalen Milroe. I don't think Jalen Milroe is a quarterback. To be fair, it's like people make fun of Jalen Hurts. He came out of college as a 3rd-round pick. 10 times better of a quarterback than Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is actually a skill player. He does not throw the ball. He doesn't throw it well. Also, Quinn Ewers, I think Quinn Ewers has been overrated since he was in high school. He was the number 1 prospect in his class. He went to Ohio State. He transferred to Texas. Didn't really do. I mean, I'm not gonna downplay like he didn't do much, but mean, in a Sarkisian offense with superstar talent around him, I think he kind of let down. Um, and I think he was saved by having those great players around him. So I don't know. He's probably going to get taken in the second or third round. I just don't think he's going to be a good quarterback at the next level. And then Dylan Gabriel is going to be the last guy that's missing from my list. I think Dylan Gabriel is a good quarterback. I think that he's just too small. Kyler Murray is so small, and he has his blazing fast speed, right? But he still struggles in the NFL like every single week. I think Dylan Gabriel would just struggle way too much in the NFL. I hope he proves me wrong, but that's why I left him off my top 5. And let me know in the comment section down below what you agreed with, what you disagree with. Tell me if I'm stupid. I'd love to respond to your comments. Like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one.